Don't you worry. You're not going anywhere. And as for Alec, just leave him to me.
In October 1995, Julie Goodyear walked off the set of Coronation Street for the last time. 25 years of playing Bette Lynch. Over, just like that. She'd just won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the inaugural National Television Awards. She was at the peak of her fame.
Don't you come the high and mighty with me, lady. You'd not be stood there with a bulging bank balance if you hadn't flaming married it. Yes.
Bette Lynch was a British institution. The leopard print, the blonde beehive, the brassy voice. Everyone loved Bette. So why did Julie leave? The official line was simple. She wanted Julie time now. After 25 years, she'd earned it. A break from the Rover's return, a chance to do other things. That's what everyone believed. But that wasn't the whole truth.
Now, let's have it, and let's have it now. Because I can't stand this tight-lipped business any longer.
Years later, in interviews with Piers Morgan and in her autobiography, Just Julie, the real story came out. And it revealed a woman who'd been carrying burdens nobody knew about. A woman who'd fought cancer, nursed her dying mother, and finally reached a breaking point that made staying impossible. Julie Goodyear was born Julie Kemp on March 29, 1942, in Heywood, Lancashire. Her father, George Kemp, walked out on the family soon after Julie was born. The couple divorced when Julie was 6. Her mother, Alice, remarried in 1949 to William Goodyear, a publican who owned the Bay House in Heywood. Julie took his surname. She called him her father. He was the only father she ever really knew. But it was her maternal grandmother, Elizabeth Duckworth, who raised Julie. A spiritualist. Someone the local community called upon to lay out the dead.
One happy family outing. There you are. There's 2 more exotic words for your book. Like carnival, family, and outing.
Julie would accompany her grandmother on these visits, watching, learning. Death became familiar to her at a young age. Then, when Julie was just 13, her grandmother was found drowned in a canal. The exact circumstances were unclear, but the loss devastated Julie. The woman who'd been her anchor was gone. At 16, Julie found herself pregnant by a draftsman named Ray Sutcliffe. In 1960, in a time when unmarried pregnancy brought shame and scandal, they married. Their son, Gary, was born on April 28, 1960. The marriage lasted 3 years. By then, Julie had other plans. She wanted to be a model. To raise money, she trained as a shorthand typist. She worked in an aircraft factory, sold washing machines, worked as a waitress. She even served behind her stepfather's bar at the Bay House. Eventually, her modeling career took off. She was named Miss Britvic, Miss Astral Cream. The work led to small acting roles. In 1966, Julie landed a 6-week role in Coronation Street, a factory worker named Bette Lynch at Elliston's Raincoat Factory. Julie was 24 years old. She was convinced the role would become permanent. When the 6 weeks ended and they let her go, she was shocked, devastated. But during her time at Granada, an older actress took her aside. Pat Phoenix, who played the legendary Elsie Tanner, gave Julie some advice. "Get some formal acting training," Pat told her. "Then come back." Julie took that advice to heart. She joined Oldham Repertory Theatre. She appeared in episodes of A Family at War, The Dustbin Men, Nearest and Dearest. She even had a small role in the film Kes in 1969. All the while, she and Pat Phoenix were building a friendship. A deep, genuine connection that would last until Pat's death. In 1970, a producer saw Julie acting in a stage play. Impressed, he offered her a 6-month contract to return to Coronation Street. The plan was to introduce a new character named Julie Ganley, an old workmate of Irma Barlow. But the producers changed their minds. They decided to scrap Julie Ganley and bring back Bette Lynch instead. In May 1970, Bette Lynch returned to Weatherfield as a barmaid at the Rover's return. Julie Goodyear would play the role for the next 25 years. Bet wasn't like other characters. She was brassy, loud, always smoking a cigarette from a cigarette holder. She wore leopard print and had a blonde beehive that defied gravity. She flirted with the men. She bickered with Annie Walker, the snobbish landlady who looked down on tarty Bet. But Annie had to admit that Bet drew in the punters. The viewers loved her. Julie and Bet became inseparable in the public's mind. People would stop Julie in the street and call her Bet. Some couldn't tell where the character ended and the actress began. But off-screen, Julie was nothing like Bet. She was quieter, more reserved. The brash confidence was all performance. In 1973, Julie married Tony Rudman, a company secretary. The marriage didn't last longer than the wedding reception. Literally. Rudman left her for his best man. Julie later learned he was gay. The marriage was annulled. It was humiliating. But Julie kept working. Throughout the 1970s, Lynch evolved from a supporting character into one of the show's central figures. The writers began giving her bigger storylines, more depth. In 1974, Bet had a brief affair with Len Fairclough, which caused scandal in the street. She became involved with Mike Baldwin, the charming factory owner who'd walk into the Rovers and flirt shamelessly with her. Their on-again, off-again relationship became must-watch television. Viewers couldn't get enough of their chemistry. But beneath the glamorous surface, Bet's storylines often revealed a vulnerable woman desperate for love and security. She'd fall for the wrong men. Men who'd promise her the world and then disappear. Men who'd use her and discard her. The writers gave Bet layers, complexity. She wasn't just the brassy barmaid anymore. She was a woman with dreams that kept getting crushed. A woman who put on a brave face while her heart broke again and again. Julie understood Bet intimately. She poured her own experiences into the character. The failed marriages, the disappointments, the determination to keep going no matter what. Bet was me, and I was Bet in many ways, Julie later said. We both knew what it was like to be knocked down and have to get back up again. By the mid-1970s, Julie Goodyear had become one of Britain's most recognizable faces. She appeared on magazine covers, did interviews on chat shows. The public adored her, but the attention came with a price. Julie had no privacy. Everywhere she went, people wanted to talk to Bet, to touch her, to be near her. Some fans couldn't separate the actress from the character. They'd approach her in supermarkets and restaurants, expecting her to be exactly like Bet. Loud, brassy, always on. When Julie was quiet or reserved, they seemed disappointed. It was exhausting, the constant performance, both on screen and off. The workload at Coronation Street was relentless. By 1978, the show was airing 3 episodes a week. Julie was in most of them. She'd arrive at Granada Studios at 7 in the morning. Rehearsal, script run-throughs, costume fittings, then filming. Sometimes she wouldn't leave until 8 or 9 at night, 6 days a week. There were no mobile phones to check scripts at home. No emails. Everything happened at the studio. If you weren't there, you fell behind. Julie watched younger actors join the cast, full of energy and ambition. She remembered being that eager herself back in 1970, but by the late 70s, the shine was wearing off. The repetition, the endless scenes of pulling pints behind the bar, the same set, the same pub, the same conversations. She loved Bet, she loved the show, but the exhaustion was creeping in. And then there were the press. The tabloids loved Julie. They followed her everywhere. Photographed her shopping, eating, walking her dogs. They speculated about her love life. Made up stories when there weren't any real ones to tell. Julie had learned to develop a thick skin, to smile for the cameras even when she wanted to scream. But it took its toll. The constant scrutiny. The feeling that she could never just be Julie. She was always Bet Lynch in the public's eyes. In 1979, during a routine checkup, Julie discovered she had cervical cancer. She was 37 years old. The diagnosis terrified her. She kept it secret from the public. Only a few people knew. She temporarily left Coronation Street to undergo treatment. 2 operations, weeks of recovery, the fear that it might come back, that it might kill her. But Julie survived. When she returned to the show, she threw herself into raising awareness about cervical cancer. She founded a charity to finance a smear testing center in Manchester, the Julie Goodyear Cancer Screening Center. It still operates today at the Christie Hospital. The cancer scare changed Julie, made her appreciate life differently. In 1985, she married Richard Scrobb, an airline executive. But they lived so far apart that the marriage ended within 2 years. Julie was focused on her work, on Bet, on Coronation Street. In 1985, Bet became the landlady of the Rovers' return, succeeding the Walkers. It was a huge storyline. Bet Lynch, the barmaid, was now running the pub. In 1987, Bet married Alec Gilroy, played by Roy Barraclough. It was partly a business arrangement to allow Bet to remain landlady. But over time, it became something more. They were fond of each other. They made it work. Until Alec seized an opportunity to revive his career as an entertainments manager aboard cruise ships. Bet refused to go with him. The marriage ended. In August 1986, Pat Phoenix, Julie's closest friend, announced she had terminal lung cancer. Pat was 62, a lifelong smoker. The cancer had spread. There was nothing anyone could do. On September 9, 1986, Pat married Tony Booth in her hospital bed. 8 days later, on September 17th, she died. Julie was heartbroken. Pat had been more than a friend. She'd been a mentor. The person who'd believed in Julie when no one else did. The person who'd told her to get training and come back. Pat's death hit Julie hard. Very hard. Less than a year after Pat's death, in 1987, Julie faced another devastating blow. Her mother, Alice, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Julie left Coronation Street temporarily to nurse her. Day after day, week after week, watching her mother deteriorate. Watching her suffer. Alice was the woman who'd raised her after her father left. The woman who'd remarried to give Julie a stable home. And now, she was dying. Julie stayed by her side until the end. When Alice died, Julie returned to Coronation Street. But something had changed inside her. The grief, the exhaustion, the weight of loss after loss. Pat Phoenix, her mother, it was piling up. By the early 1990s, Julie was thinking about leaving. In 1992, according to reports, she planned to quit. But the producers asked her to stay on to see her 25th anniversary as a regular character. Julie agreed. She signed a new 1-year contract in September 1994. But by May 1995, she'd made her decision. She was leaving. For good. In interviews, Julie said she wanted Julie time now. After 25 years playing Bet, she wanted to do other things. Travel. Spend a time at her farm, Primrose Hill Farm, which she'd purchased and was renovating. Pursue other acting opportunities. But there was more to it than that. Julie was exhausted, burnt out. The relentless schedule of Coronation Street. 3 episodes a week, 6-day work weeks, 12 to 16-hour days. For 25 years, she'd battled cancer, nursed her dying mother, lost her best friend, and through it all, she'd kept going, kept playing Bet, kept smiling for the cameras. But she couldn't do it anymore. She needed to stop. She needed to breathe. Bet Lynch's exit storyline was written quickly. Newton and Ridley, the brewery, decided to sell the Rovers' return, not just the license, the entire pub, for £68,000. Bet was offered first refusal. But she had no savings. Despite running the pub for 10 years, she'd made no profit. She tried to raise the money. Finally, she turned to her best friend, Rita Sullivan, with the idea of a managing partnership. Rita had the money. She seriously considered it. But then Bet started telling people that Rita was buying the Rovers with her before Rita had actually agreed. Rita began having doubts. She sought advice from Alf Roberts, who pointed out that if Bet had no savings after 10 years, both she and the business were a bad risk. Rita pulled out. Bet was furious, devastated. The two women had a heated argument in the cabin. Their friendship, which had lasted for years, ended in bitterness. Bet handed the tenancy back to the brewery. On October 16, 1995, Lynch left Weatherfield in a taxi. No fanfare, no big goodbye scenes, just Bet alone, leaving everything behind for a fresh start. Julie Goodyear's final scene as Bet aired that night. 12.5 million people watched. It was the end of an era. Julie returned to Primrose Hill Farm. She oversaw renovations. She became a member of the National Farmers Union. She appeared on talk radio in Manchester. She did pantomimes, commercials, reality television shows like Celebrity Fit Club in 2005. She wrote her autobiography, Just Julie, which was published in November 2006. In it, she discussed her upbringing, her bisexuality, her experience with cancer, and her time on Coronation Street. She was honest, raw, candid in ways she'd never been before. In 2007, Julie married Scott Brand, a man 26 years her junior. They'd been together for 11 years before they married. The wedding was intimate, small. The reception was attended by close friends, including some famous faces. Julie was 65. Scott was 39. People talked, but Julie didn't care. She was happy. Scott adored her. She adored him. That was all that mattered. In 2002, 7 years after leaving, Julie was tempted back to Coronation Street. EastEnders was beating Corey in the ratings. The producers wanted to bring back a character from the show's golden era. Julie was offered a 1-year contract. Bet would return to Weatherfield for Betty Turpin's retirement party at the Rovers and stay as the new manageress. Julie agreed. It seemed like a good idea, a chance to revisit Bet, to remind people why they'd loved her. But it was a disaster. From day one, Julie struggled. Coronation Street had changed. When Julie left in 1995, the show aired 3 episodes a week. By 2002, it was 5. There was less time for rehearsal. Scenes were filmed out of order. The pace was relentless. Somebody had omitted to tell me, in the transition period, all the changes that had happened, Julie said in an interview with Piers Morgan. All the older members of the cast that had been there since it had gone through from 3 to 5 episodes had been eased gently into it. And all the new kids coming in weren't used to working any other way. Julie lasted 17 days. Just 17 days. She filmed 8 episodes. Then, on the advice of her doctor, who diagnosed her with stress and exhaustion, she quit. The producers were mortified. Bet's storylines had to be concluded off-screen. A woman named Lillian Spencer, played by Maureen Lipman, was hastily written in as temporary manager. Julie's abrupt departure was seen as an embarrassment. Some tabloids reported diva-like behavior. Julie later revealed that some of the younger cast had sold stories about her to the press. She was genuinely hurt by that. In November 2003, Julie returned to Coronation Street one last time. 7 episodes filmed on location in Blackpool. Bet reunited with old friend Liz MacDonald. It was a brief storyline. A final curtain call. Bet's last appearance aired on November 30th, 2003, and that was it. Bet Lynch was gone. For good this time. Over the years, rumors circulated that Bet would return again. In 2010, there was speculation that new producer Phil Collinson wanted to bring Bet back for the show's 50th anniversary. But it never happened. In 2011, when actress Betty Driver died, there was talk of Julie reprising her role for Betty's funeral. But again, it didn't happen. Bette Lynch remained in the past. A legend, an icon, but gone. The truth about leaving. So why did Julie really leave in 1995? In interviews years later, she finally opened up. It wasn't just about wanting Julie time. It was about survival, about reaching a breaking point after 25 years of grueling work. "I wanted to leave on a high whilst the character was still fondly regarded," she told Piers Morgan. She didn't want to become a tired character, a joke. She wanted Bette to leave with dignity, with people still loving her. But there was more. The losses. Pat Phoenix's death in 1986. Her mother, Alice's death in 1987. The cancer scare in 1979 that had terrified her. The failed marriages. The constant pressure to be Bette Lynch, both on screen and off. The exhaustion of carrying all of that while maintaining the facade that everything was fine. By 1995, Julie had nothing left to give. She'd poured everything into Bette for 25 years, and she needed to stop before it destroyed her. In June 2023, Julia's husband, Scott Brand, made a heartbreaking announcement. Julie had been diagnosed with dementia. She'd been suffering from forgetfulness for some time. They'd been seeking medical advice and assistance. Her condition would get worse over time. Julie was 81 years old. The news devastated Coronation Street fans. In October 2023, Julie and Scott took part in a memory walk in Manchester to raise money for the Alzheimer's Society. Julie, the woman who'd played one of British television's most iconic characters, was now battling a disease that would slowly take her memories away. Julie Goodyear's legacy is Bette Lynch, the barmaid who became a landlady, the woman with the leopard print and the blonde beehive, the character who made the Rovers' return famous. For 25 years, Julie gave everything to that role. She made Bette real, flawed, funny, heartbreaking, human, and when she left in 1995, she left on her own terms. With dignity, with the character still loved. But Julie's legacy is also her courage. Battling cervical cancer and surviving, nursing her dying mother through terminal illness, founding a charity that still helps women today, speaking openly about her bisexuality and her autobiography at a time when it wasn't easy to do so, living her life authentically even when people judged her for it. Julie Goodyear wasn't just Bette Lynch. She was a survivor, a fighter, a woman who faced loss after loss and kept going. So what do you think? Did Julie make the right decision leaving Coronation Street in 1995? Should she have stayed longer, or did she leave at exactly the right time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed learning about Julie Goodyear's incredible life and the truth about why she left as Bette Lynch, hit that subscribe button. We'll be bringing you more untold stories from British television's golden age. Thanks for watching.